Now let's talk about juridical risks. It's a very big risk to not understand juridical risks. You think, oh, there are some laws that things I don't care. I am concentrating on my project. No, you have to also look at the juridical issues. If you don't understand how the legal work, then you can, by mistake, end up in legal issues. But you can also, because you do something that wasn't allowed, end up in legal issues, or something that someone else caused. Another thing, legal, is agreements. Now, I told you an example before. Someone made an agreement for 20% of the production of some computer memory things. But then it was not produced, so he get 20% of nothing. Now, in the same way, you risk to have an agreement that is not fully proper to protect you. Sometimes you need to think it through to have a proper agreement, and you also need to understand, have your legal advisor sometimes to get it formulated in a legal way, because what you think you mean when you write something might be different from how a court would understand the same thing. And you may also rush into things where you don't have an agreement, where you should have. But he said so and so. Yeah, maybe he did. But can you prove it? It's a legal thing that you can use only if you can prove it. And having it in writing is the best way. It can be about renting something. It can be about buying something, about selling something, whatever it is. And an agreement can many times solve problems before they come. If you have an agreement that says that if so and so happens, then this and this is what should be valid, then you have solved a problem before it arises. You must understand the laws that applies to your activity. If you are in one place, then sometimes your country's laws, of course, and something if there are states and so with their own laws, you have to understand that. If you are active in more than one state or in more than one country and so on, yes, again, there are different laws you must understand, and your activity must adapt to all of them. I met once in a big multinational company on an embassy in party. It was an embassy party in New Delhi, and he told me that I'm going to so and so state in India. So I said, tomorrow. He said, I'll go there. Why? I said, why are you going there? So he said, yeah, because they have a different law. We can't do business in their state. Someone tried to get them change the laws. It's complex sometimes. And you can end up in all kinds of legal cases. It can be your customers. Now, one way to protect yourself against claims from customers and suppliers and others is to have a proper insurance, a business insurance, which include legal costs. And don't have too small legal costs. It can run out to big amounts. The authorities may also make legal cases on you if you have broken some laws, or even if you didn't know it was there. And then let me talk about 3 specific things that can be an advantage to you if you use them, but it's a risk if you step on someone else's toe. The first one is a patent. Someone may have patented for a product or whatever it is, service or something, doing things in a certain way. If you break that patent, even you didn't know it existed, you can have to pay millions in damages. So you have to have respect for it. But on the other hand, if you file a patent and that gets approved, then you are protected against others trying to copy what you're doing. In a similar way, there are protected designs. You are not allowed to do a design that someone else has protected. Now, you can't protect designs that has been used for a long time or not something new, you can say. But if you do something new in the design, then you can. And this is tricky. You may decide to make a piece of jewelry that has a certain design, but you didn't realize that someone had a design protection for something looked the same for which was a technical part of some machinery, and still you can collide with that. So it's complex. And for patent and design issues, you can need maybe sometimes an agent who is a specialist in dealing with helping people with patent and so on, and they can find out, is there any patent or design issue that threaten your activity. But that is more when you are creating something new, that you have to look to that. But you can definitely not copy. Let's say there is a brand who has the right, they are selling, they had a brand name protected, and you are copying the brand name. Then you should expect millions in damages to have to pay. Finally, of this protected thing, there is something called copyright. There was a podcast in Sweden that recently I heard about. They took some information from some different books and from some different magazines and different things here and there, and then they used that to create their own podcast programs to pay a lot of damage and then survive. But the thing is, you can't just, what someone else make a drawing, or someone makes a painting, or someone makes a text, you can't just take it. If you want to take it, ask for the approval. If they approve it, then you can use it. But make sure you have the approval in writing and not only in words. So these are a few things. Legal issues is an important field as well, and it is to some extent a minefield. Because normally when you do business, you don't have legal issues in your head. You have business issues in your head. You need your business issues. But don't forget that there is a legal word as well.